All right, so now where are we at? We have four websites. That's two on one hosting account and two on another hosting account, all of which are going to be used to drive up backlinks, drive up the page rank for our destination website. So that's huge. We got four accounts that we can put massive websites on, entirely different websites generally, two per hosting server, and they all add up. All those backlinks are going to be used to drive up the popularity of our destination website, the one we really want to get to rank for different keywords. So what we need to do now is set up those profiles so that we can physically upload our websites into each of those. Now all you guys have a V2, there's a V1 and a V2, you installed it already. There might be a V3 before long, maybe a V4, V5, V6, as we do different things and simplify stuff and make things more powerful for you. And right now we're on the V2, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and train over right now. Okay, I got a lot of stuff in here. You have most of these, if not all of them. And I have a full profile stack here, except that these are domains that I have that I can't just hand out. As we already saw with MOWG samples, there were several people uploading tons of pages a day. There were individuals that were each uploading like 40,000 web pages in the same day. It's a bit much. You know, you're never going to get Google to index all that stuff just coming off of MOWG samples where everyone's sharing the exact same thing. It's just there mostly for you to get used to and understand how this works. And after that, you want to create your own domains and put your own stuff up on your own domains so you have full control over them. No one else can put pages on your domains. You're the one that controls that all by yourself. You don't have to share them with anybody. And you can keep them just as optimized for the particular projects you're on as you want, or get into whichever other projects you want, but you don't have 50 or 80 people putting projects up on the same domain. So it's good to test with the MOWG sample site and go ahead and get some backlinks up on there. You know, put up 1,000 pages. That's perfectly cool. Just don't keep coming back and doing it thinking it's actually going to help you. It really won't. I mean, this thing's getting indexed pretty slowly because of all the pages being generated for it all the time. All right, but with that said, here's what you would start off with normally. You wouldn't have this many files right here. So let me just create a backup for all this stuff and just say all stuff, just something so I can keep track of it. And mostly everything in here, with the exception of what you would see, that, and that, I'm going to go ahead and cut this and I'm going to stick it right here, paste. Okay, so I'm assuming that you've installed this and that you've installed the MOWG-Pro. We had that in a different video. And so here's pretty much what you're seeing on the inside of the full profile stack. You're seeing three profiles to work with. And what we want to do is create four more, namely the ones for our sites. Now I went ahead and laid it out so that it's easy to understand the information we need to create. Here we have a domain and we have the FTP connection for it. And the only other thing I did, and I'm not sharing the password, I'm just saying password here. Normally you would have your own password here. There's the user, there's the FTP. Of course, all of these are port 21. Now, the only thing that's different is I stuck a project name in here for the first project I want to do. I can use the same profiles for as many projects as I want. I just have to change the names each time I run it. Okay, but just to get it in your head that you need a project name on your projects, then here it is. And so I went ahead and stuck it. Now, since I want all four of my websites, 1, 2, 3, and 4, to create pretty much the same project on all these websites with wholly unique pages, all backlinking me, then I'm assuming that I want to go ahead and go with this dream keyword in each of these cases. They just happen to all be mine. Everyone's out there competing for these anyway. I'm going to be for those guys myself, and I'm going to use these projects to drive my money website, whatever it really is, the real website I want, which is none of these. These are just backlinking websites for my purposes, used to drive the page rank up for something else. So these are my sacrificial websites until or unless I create real MOWG runs on them, which is advanced training. It'll come later. But for the purposes of simple backlinking to drive the value of a different website up, this is what I need to know. And we already created all this stuff. We already created the domain, and we just simply know we want to create a folder for this project inside of there. And this is all the FTP information that we basically used inside our FTP um, program. In my case, 3D FTP. In your case, either that or FileZilla or whatever else you want. Notice the one difference. This does not say FTP dot anymore because for the profiles, it has to look a little bit different. Okay, FTP colon slash slash, and I think it needs to be caps, but I forget. And you can do it with or without the www dot. Okay, what I did was intentionally show you that it pretty much is the same thing, just as a reminder. This could be gone or here. www dot doesn't really matter, and this could be like that too. Why? Because whether you put the www dot or not, it's all going to the same place. Okay, so typically, just for convenience sake, I kind of do it this way as a reminder to myself that the domain has the www dot and the FTP does not. And that's just because I really like to display my websites with www dot. I do. When, for Google, there's all kinds of questions about which is better. The answer is neither, really. So it's personal preference if nothing else. And then FTP, I don't see a reason for it. You can use it if you want. Okay, this is a main website with its FTP information. And there is a sub website. Remember, we created it. Buildingwebsitesnow.com is a sub. And so its FTP information, since it uses the same FTP access, it's the access to the main account, except that we want to put our project deeper. We want to make it show up on this subdomain in this case. So how does that work? That's FTP to the main website, and then the public HTML folder, and then the subfolder which this was assigned to. Remember how we assigned this website a folder. Okay, and then because our project is going to be building websites, if we want the pages to show up here on this sub, it's a sub, so if we want the pages to show up on the sub, they need to be where when you actually upload them on the main website, public HTML, in that subfolder, which is really the shortcut that this domain points at. This equals this. Okay? And then all that's left is that the project needs to match. Because if we're going to link to it on on the website, if you're going to be able to visit this, then there must be pages there. So they have to match. Okay, that's it really. It's just make sure that you get your domain and your FTP to work together. The rest of it is just the password and the user to log on. So now that I know that, I need to start creating these profiles. What's the easiest way to do it? This is the best way to do it. Take a profile you already have and make a copy, and you can paste and then paste again and then paste again and then paste again, and in each case we can rename what we want it to be. The first one is Building Websites Today, so I'm going to call it BWT for Building Websites Today. That way I know what it is. The next one is Building Websites Now, BWN, Building Websites Now. The next one is MOWG-Pro with no dash, rename. So that's MOWG-Pro with no dash, and the next one is MOWG-Pro with a dash, MOWG-Pro. These are just names I give my profiles so I know what they're supposed to be. Okay, I mean, you can do this any way you want. You can have naming conventions. You can have 1-1-, 2-2-. That way you can keep track of your masters and your slaves. You can even call them something like that. You could say like this. This is the master. I could go, maybe this is the first stack of things I want to group. So I can go 1- and then I'll go dash main, and then I'll say something like rename. 1- because it's sort of in the same group. It goes with the top one, and it'll be sub. Okay, now I can keep track of these more easily. All right, and then same thing with these here. Rename. If I want to remember that that's the main, I might go 2- because it's a whole different website, and I'll say main, and then rename 2- sub. 2-MOWG-Pro-sub. Okay, that way I can just keep track visually of these things together and I recognize them better. All right, so how do I do it now? They're all copies of the MOWG samples profile. So right now they have all the wrong information. They're set to connect to MOWG samples. We want to get them to connect to our own website. Easiest way to do that, we can open with this or we can open with the main interface. I'll just open with the main interface and load it. So I'm going to load the first one. Now, that is the whole, okay, and that was just a project of MOWG samples, but I'm going to go ahead and do what? I'm going to start replacing the information. And which one was that again? That was what? Building websites now. That's right, that's that one. So I'm just going to use that information. There's what the domain should be with the project. Paste. Leave these top three alone for the placeholder website. These are always going to stay the same. No reason to change them. You can, just no reason to. All right. Now, along with that, I need my FTP. And always beware of stray spaces and stuff. Okay. And I'll just put it here. Okay. No stray spaces, no stray spaces. Now, obviously, the username is different. There's the username. And the password's going to be different. And I just happen to know what the password is, so I'm going to go get it. And there I go. I can save that. Now it's saved. Everything else is therefore intact. Everything is good to go. This is why I made copies, because I don't have to build this stuff again. If I created it new, then I would have to build all this stuff up, which I don't want to do. I mean, you could. You use the arrows, put things in the right order, and recreate it from some other profile, but why do that? Just make a copy and everything is already intact. So I'm done. I'm going to hit save. Make sure you hit save. You can never hit save too many times. Now I want to load the next one. Okay, and again, just to speed stuff up, let me actually do this. I'm going to make all the passwords because they're all the same. I'm going to make all the passwords the same on all these really, really fast. And make sure to hit the save, right? Make the password the same. And where was the last one? MOWG-Pro main, MOWG-Pro sub. Did I get them both? No. Boom. And save. All right, now I can go back to where I was and continue with the rest of it. Okay, let's get the websites and stuff set up. So this was for the main. So here it is, building websites. Okay, there. Now, let me get that FTP. Control C. Right there. Oh, stray space, see it? Always get rid of stray spaces if you get one. And I just have them because I was putting extra stuff in, but whatever. Build 5, no stray space. Okay. And that one's done. And so now I'm going to load the next one I need. It was the MOWG-Pro main. Okay. And so let me get the information for there. That's this one, the main. Control C. Boom. Perfect. This one. Don't want any stray spaces. Boom. Now, what's with the next one? There's the user. Control C. And I already saved the updated password. So I'm just going to load the last one. MOWG-Pro sub. Let me get that sub. Here it is. Control C. Control V. And then that. And then that. And it's got the updated password. Now all of mine are done. I can actually just sort of double check them. So I can check. That's correct. That makes sense. That's the sub. Everything's good there. And then that's also correct. That's the main. That's why this is so much shorter. Uh-oh, the main. If it's the main, what am I missing? As a matter of fact, I missed it right here. What do I need? Some of you guys caught it already, right? As a matter of fact. I do need that public underscore HTML. And so let me make sure I get that in there. And I needed that here on the main. And I need that for the main. I need it here as well as here. I need it on everything. File save. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to confuse. Oh, I don't want to say that. What I want to do is just update it. So here we go. Let's get it right. Public underscore HTML. Okay. And make sure there's no stray spaces anywhere in there, right? I didn't accidentally put in a space, right? And that's for the main. Save. Yeah. And then load. And I can just go back through and just double check. Yeah, public underscore, that's the domain, that's right. You do not put public underscore HTML in any domain name. This is what you visit on a browser, okay? So you would visit it this way. And of course, there's nothing there yet because we didn't put anything there. So there's just nothing there yet. But always you need it in FTP unless you're connecting to the subdomain with a different FTP user, and we're not doing that in this case, which is why I completely forgot about that. All right, MOWG-Pro. Let's get that right. Public underscore HTML. Whoops, I better copy it again correctly. Control C if I want to paste it in. Boom. All right, no stray spaces. Okay, I'm good. Save. And then what? Then I want to do the sub for that. Load the sub. And that one's actually correct. That's cool. Because I needed it anyway to get that deep. Okay, save. All right, all these are done. Now, the only thing I want to do is start testing, so I don't really want like 1,000 pages to go up. It takes a long time because this only uploads with one thread. Although I might want 1,000 pages to test locally, but let's just go with 100, and I'm going to turn this off. I don't want it to actually upload yet. I want it to create the pages, put them here, and it will whether you upload or not. It'll create the pages on your computer first and then upload them. I just don't want it to take that extra step and upload yet because I want to make sure my pages look right. Okay, so I'm just going to save it like that. And that way I can just go through and make sure I got all these the same way. So I'm going to go 100 pages, do not upload long enough for the testing. Okay, so let me just do that. Boom, 100, do not upload, save, load. 100. And I'll show you a faster way to do this a little later on once we get all these things uniform. MOWG-Pro main, 100, do not upload, and then MOWG-Pro sub. And that's already set up right. So I'm good. I can save anyway. And so all of those are set up properly. Now, the only other thing is I need to get this to go for the same project now if I'm also going to put pages here, which I can do. Now I clicked on this and it's kind of slow to load that up when you click on it this way sometimes. I don't know why. But I can just go ahead and open this anyway. And then just load it. Boom. Okay. So now I want to change that project name. So you see, you don't need to create a new profile every time you want to do a new project. Paste. Just do the new projects every time you do the new projects on the same profiles if you want. There we go. Now I got it. And all of that is set up properly. That's the domain. Here's the difference. See this FTP? It does not have a public underscore HTML. The reason why is I created a separate FTP user that goes exactly to that website already. So the FTP will log in with that user. It's set to log right into that folder already. So I'm already there. And this is going to be the project I do there. Okay, the only difference is it's not the same username as for the main site. This is not a main domain, it's a sub. Okay, let me go ahead and save. And again, I do not want this either because I just want to test. Save. Okay, and they're going to look right. If they look right for one, they'll look right for all. But there's a reason I created the uniformity. I'll show you the shortcut to speed things up and make mass changes at once across lots of profiles, and then you'll get why I showed that to you. So you can just think about dealing with everything you need, okay, as you go. So that's cool. I got all that set up, so all my profiles are good, and I can do testing as soon as I get the file itself ready. I need to change my keywords, my destination domain, and everything. So that's going to be the next video. All right, we're getting there.